Night. We're gonna pull up on Giselle Avenue. We got Miss Giselle Climpson in the building. Giselle, what time is it?
Right now.
Live on Right Now Radio. Let's go.
Live right now radio.
We lit. There we go. Man, that we get started though. Fellas, like, can we find Giselle Avenue on MapQuest? Can we find it out there?
Technically, you know what? Technically, yes, but it's not going to be the one that you're trying to get to.
Okay, so what's the one we're trying to get to?
Well, you're gonna have to go on a domain. So you're gonna go to ongiselleab.com. So I own a digital real estate domain. It's called a domain, right? We all have domains. And that's my digital domain. So ongiselleab.com is where you can find me.
Wow. So like, what inspires you to start Giselle Avenue? I mean, by the way, like, I know that's your name, but like, what inspires you to start that?
Sure. So I have always been very passionate about media and sharing stories, learning about people's stories to inspire people, and also just kind of like being able to help people find their voice and be heard. So I started blogging really about a decade ago. So when I left college, but I've always been in media. I've always been in media, like in high school. Always had something to do with media. So writing, being on radio, posting stuff, being on the local news. So I've always been really active in my community. I'm from Huntsville. And after college, I was like, you know what? I just want to do my own thing. And I've always been an entrepreneur at heart. And when I started looking for jobs, I really could not find anything that really aligned with my personality and like my essence. And so I decided to create my own lane by way of Giselle Avenue. And this was at a time when like the digital community was not popping like it is now. Right. And so I consider myself one of the pioneers of the digital world that we live in. I was blogging 10 years ago, doing podcasts and really just putting myself out there. And so I came up with the name, like you said, my first name is Giselle. And then I brought in Avenue because I wanted to just allow people to come to my world and be able to experience the fullness of me, as opposed to like, oh, I do this and I just do that. Well, I do a lot of stuff. I'm an artist, I'm a creative. Yep. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to make up my own thing. And then, whoever rock with it can come to me and they're going to rock with it because it's me, not because of my degrees or my experience and all that. It's just like who I am right now.
Right now. There we go. Yes, indeed. So, so I remember right now. Did you major in communications, radio?
Yep, I majored in communications with a concentration in public relations, and I speak Spanish. And so I was in Reese Piper. Yep, and now I ain't used it much, but I am fluent. You know what I'm saying? When I go to Mexico, Miami, I be Boricua Español.
Now, hey, you know what? Now, when you go to Canada too, you got to drop that on. You got to.
There you go.
You got to.
And I notice when I travel overseas and start speaking, they be like, they thinking I'm from Brazil or something. I'd be like, I'm from Alabama.
Yeah, my man, I'm from Alabama.
Exactly. That's always funny. I'd be like, I'm from the USA.
It's made, it's made when you travel to foreign places. You tell you from Alabama. They think you from somewhere foreign, like Alabama. They think we all just country and hillbilly out there. I'm like, nah, bro. I mean, on me.
Right. Exactly. And so I just want to be myself, and I'm so glad that the world has caught up with that, because I feel like you just need to bring your whole self to your space and create your own world.
You know what? I'm glad you said that, because I remember graduating from college back in 2010, but it seemed like a lot of our college courses and a lot of our business courses kind of made us kind of think like we had to kind of dress up who we really were. We had to give, and I hate to say this, but we had to give this old white talk, right?
Yep.
And I mean, but one thing about it, yes, professionalism is everything, but be yourself. That's what I'm always been about.
Yep. I really
But but
my
now,
experience.
mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
See,
go
no, oh yeah, I'm sorry, but I see now that the world has tend to embrace the originality of us now. They encourage us to be ourselves more. Allow us to bring our own style, creativity to the job market. Because I know now, for example, like back in college, like I had long locks back in college, right? I had to cut them,
ahead.
so I get in the job market, which I didn't mind doing. But now, I see a lot of people went wearing locks in their careers now. They embraced it. Tattoos too. It's like
Exactly.
now they just embraced it, and especially like the whole sneaker community. Everybody's wearing J's now. I mean, everybody wearing J's,
Exactly.
Nikes, Dunks. And, now they're like, hey, you got a pair of Dunks, man. I'm like, I know
I
what
just I just
I
got
love to see
some.
it. I love it. I
Yep.
love to see it.
Yep. We have to evolve. That's what I
Yeah,
call it. It's evolution. You gotta evolve.
yeah. Cause see,
And
before it seemed like it like when I first got into my career, like 3 years in or whatever, people started trying to hide the J's and start pulling out those little Tiger Woods shoes. You know what I'm talking about? Them Tiger Wood, like them old $12 Nikes from Sears. You know what I mean? So they trying to rock them instead. I'm like, man, just wham, do what you do.
exactly.
Like, man, so I mean, you have a podcast too. Then again, you call it Goddess Talk. And what is Goddess Talk, by the way?
Okay, let me plug in because I want to make sure my audio is perfect.
Okay, okay,
But I
all
can hear
right,
you just fine.
okay,
We are a
all
streaming household, so we got a lot. Like it's a lot. It's a lot of recording going on right now.
right, right now, right
Okay,
now.
you sound perfect right now. You sound great. Can you hear me? Okay.
I hear you. I hear you.
Okay.
Hmm.
Um, and so yeah, so your question about Goddess Talk. So I had once upon a time, so about 2013, I had a podcast on Blog Talk Radio. So
Hmm.
that's OG distribution. And I used to talk about different topics surrounding gender and dating and gender roles. And I had a buddy, and he and I used to do it together. And so I dissolved, and I had a lot of different guests. I dissolved it because it was time to evolve. But
Mm.
most recently, I think just last year, I decided to relaunch my podcast, but it's
Hmm.
very micro. So when I say micro, I mean, it's my blog post transformed into audio, and
Hmm.
it's distributed on Spotify. And when I refer to it as Goddess Talk, it's really just a true stream of my true thoughts. So it's no filter, it's no commentary, because sometimes the comment section, right, that can deter your thoughts, or you picking up on other people's perspectives can kind of sway your own. And so it's really a safe space for me to be able to extend my thoughts via audio and really just kind of expand the blog. So the blog is the source, but also there was a very simple feature on how to just translate all of your blog posts into audio as a podcast. So I was just
Hmm.
using that feature. So again, that's that tech component. You got to be tech
Yeah.
savvy and like really
Yes, we do.
evolve with new technologies. Everything is moving. And so you just want to make sure
Yes,
you know what's
it
going
is.
on.
It
So,
is. Tech is
yeah.
really moving. So Tuesday night,
Mm-hmm.
I went to a workshop downtown here in Montgomery. It was on chat, GPT, and artificial intelligence. So I got a chance
Mm-hmm.
to dive deeper and see how the technology works and how many existing companies like Microsoft and Google are currently using it. But you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little afraid of it, me personally. And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Because number one, I'm a network engineer, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I saw that you can add this software one little thing, right, about how to number one write code or how to configure a basic router. And they just spit all that out like in 1 second.
Yep.
Less than the 5 minutes it's gonna take me to do the job. And I'm like, okay. Now that I said that's strike number one. Strike number two. And strike number two. Oh, okay, okay. So our speaker was saying how, he had a student that the one to call his mom. And so like instead of calling his mom, he told Chat GPT to call his mom and get what Chat did. Chat created an image of this boy's mom and sounded like her. Whoa, hold on now. Number one, how do you know who his mom is? How you know her name? Know what she sounds like?
Right,
But I'm feeling like this. I don't want to talk to a robot. I want to talk to my mom. I mean, I'm just saying. I want to talk to the robot. That. I mean,
right.
personally, that's how I feel. I want to talk to her.
Well, I'll tell you what, Rashad, I'm really pro AI,
Yeah,
and I
and
think
you know,
one reason is because I'm into astrology and I'm into the cosmos.
yeah,
And so what's happening right now on the planet, we're moving into a different age. So we were in the dark ages, and
right,
now we're moving into the information age. So long story short, they're basically the cosmos do stuff, right? We know that. Well, Pluto, the planet, went into Aquarius, which is a whole different zodiac. And we were in the age of Pisces, which is all about following the leader. And it's almost like a school of fish. That's why a lot of us went to college. A lot of us kind of did what everybody else did, or did what we were told to do. You know what I'm saying? You may have followed the footsteps of the people before you, the generations before you, because that's what you were told to do.
mm-hmm.
And that was the age of Pisces, and it was ruled by domination and fear. So fear ruled the whole social construct of society as we knew it. But now, particularly, Pluto went in Aquarius just like 2 months ago. But I personally think ever since 2020, we've seen the world is shifting to a more
Yeah,
digital information
it
age,
is. It
and
is.
AI is actually going to be an anchor of that ship. And this is what's going to happen, Rashad.
What's
If
gonna
you're
happen?
not on the ship,
What's gonna happen?
if you're not on the ship,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna be left behind.
I don't want to get left behind, but
You don't want to be left behind.
nah.
And that's just how the
But
game is going. And when you see all these layoffs happening in tech and
mm-hmm.
every industry, they're laying people off, not because of AI, but because of evolution. There was at Amazon, they got rid
But
of all of their AI machine learning
but
jobs because the AI is here.
yeah.
So they
So
don't need
like
to learn it anymore.
I got another question for you. Knowing that, why do you think the guy from Google stepped down? The guy who designed AI.
I didn't know he stepped down,
Yeah, it just happened like two
but
days ago.
I'll
Just happened
tell
like
you
2 days ago.
this,
Mm-hmm.
this introduction of AI is bigger than any company. So they've given us this lens to still view the big four, like Google, Amazon, as these big companies that kind of run the show.
Mm-hmm.
But now that AI has been introduced, it's going to level the playing field so that everyone, the individual, if they want to be empowered, want to command their reality, then they have the option to do so. So I use Chat GPT. I'm familiar with it. It was so funny, Rashad. Like about a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago, I got the code. I just woke up one day. Now, mind you, I'm into tech, so I know all about what be going on. But I got this very distinct message. It said, let me tell y'all what it said. Let me tell you what it said.
What
It
it say?
said,
What it say?
you you need to be using AI to simplify your life.
And you know what?
You
That's what
when you That's what you need to do. You got
that's
to
what I
use
heard the
it.
other night.
You got to command your reality with
Mm-hmm.
technology. You know, earlier, just off the record or whatever, when you was like, oh, I didn't have maybe the agenda, we kind of going with the flow.
Yeah.
Chat GPT, write me a outline for my radio show tonight.
And
Include
boom, it's right
topics,
there.
topics about this, that, and the third, and
Yep.
make sure to include this, that, and the third.
Yep.
So really, the people who are creators like yourself, because you created this show,
Mm-hmm.
we are actually going to be the ones who will be empowered in this time. But if you're afraid, you're going to get left behind. And the next thing you know, because it's going to be short, it's going to be a short amount of time. It's not going to be long. the adoption rate will be a lot shorter because of how quick it moves, right?
Right.
ChatGPT is only the beginning. There's AI for almost every activity that you could think of.
And you know what? You know what? Now I
But it's
did
good
find.
that you went to the seminar. That means you ain't
Yeah.
that afraid.
Nah. You know, man, cause I've been doing a lot of soul searching. Because I had like my last 5 guests was talking about AI, and they talking about how they use for for their business and for their apps and how they build apps. I know I want to build apps too. I said, well, you know what?
Yes.
Let me go and try to learn more. And one thing I did find, right? There's
Mm-hmm.
Adobe has an app in AI that actually digitizes your audio and sound for your podcast, right? So
Wow.
I plan to incorporate that. So that's one
And
thing
that's
I've
when you
learned.
do, and then
Yeah,
you do the Birdman hand rub.
yeah,
Like,
see, yeah,
oh
see,
yeah.
and then get what else I found though. I mean, you know what? So for real, like I'm still really diving into this. I'm still trying to learn more about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I found Futurepedia, right? They have all the different AI apps and different things you can use in AI. So I was okay, I'm gonna get on there.
Wow.
Yeah. Uh AI has their own search engine, you.com. But you know what?
See?
It's not gonna replace Google though. Google, it's actually better than the Google. But it's not. I don't think it's gonna ever
Gotcha.
replace Google though. You know what I mean? Because Google is its
Yeah.
own entity. You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm happy that it's been introduced because yes, I had the thought and it came to me so clearly. It
Yeah.
was because really the Earth, the planet itself is vibrating at a higher frequency right now. That means
I knew
that
that. I
so
knew about that. I did.
yes, we are vibrating on a higher frequency. We're coming into the fifth dimension, and that's my alias as Goddess Giselle represents my awareness that I made in the
Mm,
image of God, and
mm,
I know who I
mm,
am. I
mm.
know who I am and why I'm here. And the fifth dimension is all about vibrating at a high frequency, really of love.
Yeah.
And we're
Yeah.
coming from a fear-based timeline to a love-based timeline. So everyone's going to have to start doing what they love, loving their life, loving their day. And this is not just about romance. I definitely encourage romance. So I do
Mm-hmm.
believe that partnership is key.
It is.
But I'm not even just talking about romance because that is a dead horse right now. Everybody want to talk about dating, but it's because of love. That's the planet's vibration now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why everybody got sent home. Because think about it, let's say 25 years ago, a lot of people were doing jobs they hated to get
Yeah.
money
Mm-hmm.
to
But you know
provide for
what?
their
I
family.
see. You know
So
what? I see actually less of that now. I see people really getting jobs now that they actually love. You know what I mean? And,
exactly,
and I see
yes,
people,
that's
I see people not only that, people are actually transitioning from those jobs they hated to things they love now. Like I see a lot of people who are leaving old industries like from corrections, janitorial work, they get into tech.
mm-hmm.
A
Yep.
lot of people who actually mentored and taught before. When I was teaching,
Wow.
they love those old fields and jumped into tech.
Yes.
Whether they
And
were in
I
their
am
30s or 40s.
exactly.
Some of them
Age,
in
it
their 30s
doesn't
and 40s.
matter.
And you know what? No, I told them something. Age doesn't matter. Just do it. Just
Mm-mm.
you gonna
And
love
you
it.
don't need a degree. And I
Mm-mm.
know, many of us do have degrees, but you don't need
Right.
not many of
Right.
us, some of
Right.
us. You
Mm-hmm.
don't need a degree. All you really need is that love. And so that's another reason, Rashad, why I started Giselle Avenue, because I wanted to do
Mm-hmm.
what I love. I didn't care about nothing else. And I'm a very high frequency, high spirited person. So I was like, listen,
Just
I'm
like
going to do what
me.
I love. There
And
you go. And the
that's
money
why,
will come when it gets here.
yeah, and that's why I went ahead and started my podcast this year. Over the Christmas
Good for
holidays,
you.
this past year, I was just sitting in here like, you know what? I'm about to go ahead and push all my ideas out. Finally, I've been sitting on it for
There
so
you
long.
go.
I mean, I've had this
Push
idea
them
for like the
out.
last 3 years, right? When I was still teaching at Trimley, but
Wow.
I just never got around to doing it. And people tell me like, you need to go
Mm-hmm.
ahead and start something, man. Start something for yourself. But I was just thinking
Yes.
about only my career, right? And I'm still have my career, obviously, but I'm saying I'm gonna go and push this podcast, this app, right now app.
Yes.
Right Now Networks is the IT consultant, and then you got Right Now Vending, the vending machines. So I'm like you,
Nice.
I'm about to fill up
Yes.
every category. You know, I'm about,
Because we are multi-dimensional beings
yeah,
living a life on earth. And Michael Jackson has a song, and all the messages come from music, sound, art. It comes through art. Michael Jackson got a song. He said, "You want to be starting something,
there
got
we
to be
go.
starting something." He's
Yeah,
talking about literally what you just said. And if you don't start something, you're gonna be a vegetable. A vegetable just
yeah,
sit there and rot away. You see
mm-hmm,
what I'm saying?
yeah,
So you want to be starting something, got to be starting something. So
yeah.
if you're watching this and you've been thinking about starting something, you need to
Just
start it.
start it,
Do it.
start it.
Do it
And you know what?
tomorrow. Do it.
And play that Michael Jackson song when you do it.
There you go. And really, you come to my blog. My blog, I have so many resources for people trying to figure it out. I
Yeah,
have a master class about personal branding. I have all
right.
kind of resources, but I've been in this industry of branding and trying to really helping people brand themselves so they can go get to their bag, get to their love
Mm-hmm,
frequency. That's
mm-hmm,
what I specialize in. And I've been doing it for the past decade. And I'm just so inspired by the people that I've worked with. I've had a
wow.
client back in the day, child, she a household name nowadays. And when
What's
she
her
came to
name?
me, I ain't gonna
Tell
put her out there like that.
tell us,
Okay,
tell
I
us.
can't, it don't matter.
Yeah,
So this is a story. So story
yeah,
time. When I first
tell us.
started my business, Giselle Avenue,
Mm-hmm.
I'm based in Atlanta, Georgia. So I've been in
Right,
Atlanta all this time. Shout
right.
out to ATL. And I
ATL.
was a freelancer. So I was out here. Freelancing just means you work with someone and they pay you directly. So
Yeah.
you got a contract in place, but you're really just trying to get your feet wet. So sometimes you got to put in the work. And so I was like, I'm taking clients. And at the time, I was managing a model. So I was doing model management. I was working with my client, and she was, we had a booking for her, and I was just making sure everything was set up nice. And then this other girl who I met through another party, she actually saw me working with my client. And she was like, "Can you do that for me?" And I was like, "I sure can. What you trying to do? Let's get it." Cause I
Yeah,
do this. Like I love
right.
branding and I love like
Yeah.
brand. It's kind of a spin of PR, but I made it my own. So I love to make people a household name brand. Like I'm a
Right.
brand. I'm not just a person.
Yeah.
And so when she saw me working with my client at the time, she's like, "Well, can you do that for me, Giselle?" I was like, "I sure can."
Yeah.
And she and I started working together, and I was inspired by her because she's a very solid, she's a businesswoman. I mean, her
Business woman.
story is just amazing. Yes. And she's a businesswoman. And I was impressed by her whole little thing. You know what I'm saying? And so for her to trust me with her brand, that was very dope. And so I started working with her in August. And I kid you not, Rashad, about it. When we started, she was at 4K on Instagram. This
Yeah.
is back like 2015. So Instagram
Mm-hmm.
wasn't as popping, but it
Right.
was
Right.
still a tool. So she started 4K. She started working with me. By December, I had got her to 10K
Yeah.
organic followers.
Yeah.
And I had gotten her within these different rooms, doing these brand positionings. They were filming Real Housewives one time, had her at the filming, and it was just a beautiful experience. And what I did was helped her craft her story.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're watching this, you need to know that your story is your meal ticket. I know you might think, you might even be ashamed of parts of your story. I don't care if you came from an orphanage, if
Right.
you was hurt or
I'm
had
glad you
to
said that
anything.
because you know what?
The trauma, you can use alchemy to like turn that into your power. So that's what
I
we
like to
did with
share
her.
everything. I like to
Yes, and
share everything.
her name is Snoop. You can Google her, but she's a
All right.
very esteemed businesswoman here in Atlanta. And she and I don't work together nowadays, but I was one of the first people to kind of see something in her as a
Right.
brand. And
Uh-huh.
after working with me, like I said, she off to the races. She do her thing, and she's really just very using her voice
Yeah.
and platform to inspire other people, men and women. And
Right.
so yeah, it's just all about being confident in yourself, and just don't ask for permission. Like don't
Just
ask
do it.
people what they
Nah.
think
Nah.
exactly,
Uh-uh.
because
Just
so
do it.
nobody knows you like you,
Mm-hmm.
so you really can't go to a stranger and be like, "So do you think I should do?" They don't know.
They don't
Only
know.
you know.
I mean, yeah. Right.
Exactly. So
So you know
that's
what?
the reason why, but that was
And
fun.
you know what I'm hoping? I'm hoping that this interview you can make Right Now Radio a household name too.
Hey, I have the tools and the resources. I have two resources, my master class I encourage, if you're watching this, even you, Rashad, start there. It's a download,
Yeah.
audio only, but it's a presentation to really teach you some of the ways that I've been able to get those kind of results with former clients. And then I do also have a one-on-one consulting session, and I also have brand coaching. So I like to work with people who are already doing the work. Okay. You got to already be opening your mouth and talking. So if you're doing that much, that means you're putting action behind your words.
Yep.
But it's possible. And like you said, Rashad, things have changed. We're in a whole